The Cleveland Browns are standing at the edge of a cliff, and Kevin Stefanski knows it. After one of the most humiliating losses of the season, a defeat that will echo through every talk show, locker room, and fan forum for weeks, the head coach stepped up to the microphone, and for once, he didn't hide behind clichés. His words may have sounded measured, but beneath that calm tone was a man on the verge of unraveling, because what happened on that field wasn't just another bad Sunday. It was the breaking point of the season spiraling out of control, the kind of loss that shatters locker rooms, ends careers, and forces a franchise to confront its failures head-on. The moment reporters began digging deeper, the cracks widened. Every question peeled back another layer of frustration. When asked about those two special teams blunders, Stefanski gave the safe response. That was about 11 guys not doing their jobs. But that's exactly the problem. This isn't about a single blown assignment. It's about a culture of sloppiness that's taken root in Cleveland. You can swap coaches, you can shuffle players, but when a team stops executing fundamentals, it's because they've stopped believing. And that belief starts and ends with the head coach. Then came the questions about the offense, about what went right and what went horribly wrong. Stefanski's answer was stunning in its simplicity. He pointed to a lone field goal before halftime as a positive takeaway. A field goal, that's it. For a franchise built on grit and legacy, that's a gut punch. That's not pride, that's survival talk. You could almost hear the collective sigh from fans across Cleveland. This was a coach celebrating scraps, and that tells you exactly how low the bar has fallen. But the real storm began when Gabriel's name entered the conversation. The quarterback who was supposed to be the future of this team suddenly became the face of its failures. When Stefanski was asked to evaluate Gabriel's performance, his response was almost chilling in how detached it sounded. He said Dillon had plays he'd want back, mentioned a few moments where he moved well with his feet, and then brushed it all aside with the line that he can always improve. That's not confidence. That's code. When a coach stops using specifics and starts talking in generalities, it means one thing. He's running out of reasons to defend his guy. 6 sacks. That was the number that loomed over the entire press conference. 6 times Gabriel was taken down by a defense ranked among the league's worst. 4 of those sacks came from one player, Will McDonald. It wasn't just bad blocking. It was paralysis. When a quarterback holds onto the ball too long, it's not just hesitation, it's fear. And you could see that fear all game long. Yet when Stefanski was asked if Gabriel was struggling to read the field, he refused to give a straight answer. He danced around the question, deflecting blame to the offensive line and receivers. But that silence was deafening. If your head coach won't publicly defend your ability to process the game, your job security is already gone. The shift in offensive play calling only made things murkier. Assistant coach Tommy took over the reins for this matchup, and that in itself was telling. Stefanski's reputation has long been tied to his offensive mind, yet here he was, handing over control. When asked how the change went, his answer fell hollow. Total trust, he said, but they fell short as a team. That's coach speak for deflection. It's a way to spread the blame without fixing the problem. And buried in that answer was a subtle but clear admission. Stefanski no longer knows how to make this offense work. The penalties were another dagger. From tripping calls to neutral zone infractions, the Browns played undisciplined football at every level. When asked about it, Stefanski fell back on the same tired line. They win as a team and lose as a team. But that's not leadership. That's avoidance. At this stage of the season, players don't need reminders to play smart. They need direction. If they're still making mental mistakes, it's because accountability has broken down somewhere along the way. And then came the question everyone was waiting for, the moment that would define this entire press conference. Would the Browns stick with Gabriel, or was it time for a change? Stefanski didn't hesitate, but his words betrayed him. "We're going to stick with Dillon," he said, his voice steady, but his tone uncertain. That one sentence sent shockwaves through the NFL world, because it wasn't a declaration of belief. It was a temporary reprieve. He didn't say Dillon was his quarterback. He didn't say Dillon gives them the best chance to win. He said they're sticking with him, for now. And every qualifier that followed, the talk of youth, of getting better week by week, sounded less like support and more like a countdown. The unspoken name in all of this is Sanders, the backup quarterback waiting for his chance, the name whispered in every sports talk segment and shouted across social media. Stefanski never mentioned him directly, but his shadow loomed over every word. Everyone knows that if Gabriel struggles again, Sanders will get a shot. The fan base wants it, the media is pushing for it, and even the locker room can feel it coming. Sanders represents possibility, raw, untested, but full of hope. He's got the pedigree, the arm, and the confidence to command attention. But he's also an unknown. And for a coach fighting to save his job, the unknown is both tempting and terrifying. Stefanski's dilemma couldn't be clearer. Stick with Gabriel and risk another humiliating loss, or hand the keys to a rookie who could either save a season or sink it completely. It's a gamble either way, and Stefanski knows his own career might hang in the balance. Cleveland has been chasing stability at quarterback for decades, and every failed experiment cuts deeper than the last. The team thought Dillon Gabriel might finally be the answer, a steady presence who could grow into a franchise cornerstone. But patience in the NFL is a fragile thing, and 9 games of underachievement can erase an entire offseason of optimism. The truth is, Stefanski's press conference wasn't just about one game or one quarterback. It was about the identity of a franchise that's lost its way, a team that preaches toughness and accountability, but keeps folding when it matters most, a coach who's trying to hold it together while the ground crumbles beneath him, and a city that's tired of watching the same movie play out year after year. Every coach reaches a point where words stop working, where promises of improvement sound empty and fans stop believing. Kevin Stefanski might be at that point right now. His refusal to